finances is here to bring a blessing to you. It's not so much about him, but it's for your generation, because the Bible says if you don't do it, if you lack knowledge, you'll perish. So he is only bringing a blessing to restore on to your generation. So let us remember what he is doing. He could have done something else. He could have been a doctor, but God blessed him with this gift so he can minister to us so we can gain knowledge. But the Bible also say a fool reject knowledge. So the choice is always ours. Reject it and die, receive it and bless your generation. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. So I turn you over to Timothy. Stay, just stay put. I promise you will love what you hear. Timothy, turn over to you.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate, another opportunity we have to come on the show, this wonderful show that we share nothing else than how we can prepare our family for a great financial um, future, how we can um, help our kids to make a difference in their generation. Of course, education is key. The vision of Gemfm is to make sure that everyone is educated, because
Amen.
we are educated, we will be liberated in every aspect of our ways, right? And of course, we have said it several times on the show that we know that even our Bible tells us to get knowledge, right? To get wisdom so that we will not perish. However, if we do not get that knowledge in every aspect that we need to, then we will be lacking on that aspect. And of course, I believe that one of the key things that we should not lack, even according to God's plan, is we should not lack in our lives. We should not lack in wealth. A lot of people think when we are talking about wealth, it's not all about the amount of money we have, in our bank account, right? So picture, for example, Texman Warren, you may not see her with, that big millions and millions of dollars in the bank, but she's a very rich woman because she has very, very rich kids and grandkids, right? She has a lot of people that she has. What I'm trying to say is that she has a lot of people that she's impacting their lives today. That if we are to quantify the value of what that is, it is a lot of money. It is not even quantifiable in terms of, physical wealth, right? So, and that is exactly why we want to share with you all the time those things that you should be doing. And I know that God will help us. God will give us the wisdom. God will open up our heart to receive these things, to think about it, and to take the right steps, right? To take the right steps is very, very key. Let's take the right step. And I know that God will help us and God will bless us in Jesus' name. So, as a quick introduction, just for those people who may be coming into this wonderful show, once in a while, or those people who are our continuous, viewers, this show is hosted by Texman Warren on the call, and what we talk about is financial matters, right? And this financial matters is coming from Great Way Financial, one of the financial services company that is dedicated to making sure that family can live a great life. That is our sole vision. Okay? What do you want to live in that great life? It depends on you. It depends on how much you are willing to do for your family. It depends on how much you are prepared to, go that extra mile, for the next generation. There are a lot of things that I wanted to be that we'll be mentioning Again, my name is Timothy. There are a lot of things that will be coming out this wonderful platform, because again, as Tech said, we have been positioned, God has positioned us somewhere today. And the purpose of that is that so that we can help people, we can give out from what we have learned, we can give out from what we have seen. We can educate people about how they can have a 360 turnaround in their finances, right? And those are the type of things that we like to share. Those are the type of things we like to give out for our viewers and our families, right? When I mean our family, we mean the Gemfm family and all our viewers, because we love you. We want you to be successful, and that is why we come here every Tuesday, 12 to 1, and every Friday, 12 to 1, to give you very, very important and informative sessions on finances. So, if you have been following us for the past 2 weeks, we have been talking about a lot of the financial crisis that we are in now, right? We are going through unprecedented times. Everybody knows that. The one that relates to everybody, that everybody knows very well, is there is a lot about inflation, okay? And the Canadian regulatory services have announced that in the year 2022, we should be expecting an inflation of around 5 to 7%, okay, in the general goods and services that we will do, that we need. But guess what? Not to scare you, okay, not to scare everybody, there are some areas of Canadian economy that is going through ridiculous inflation, mind-blowing inflation. An example is what everybody knows. Everybody already knows that in Canada, as of today, in Ontario, let me put it like that, in Greater Toronto area, houses have gone up by more than 30%, right? Just within the last 18 months. Okay, so do you know the implication? If you want to buy a house, at least a decent house in Ontario today, you have to be a millionaire. That's what it means. Okay, you have to have at least $1 million to buy a house.
It will come down for me.
Huh?
It will come down for me when I'm ready.
Well, it is two things. The houses the market can be corrected. Things can be a little bit much better. But
how about if you buy the land for now?
Okay. If you buy the land far away, it's cheaper. So it's the same thing. That's my one. If you want to buy a land somewhere at the center or around Pickering, it's still going to be very expensive, because land is a non-depreciable asset value. And that is why we have a lot of things that we'll be sharing as we have a lot. So that is why when you own a land in Canada, that land, you pay property taxes on it for the rest of the lifespan of that land. Can you imagine? The government collects it. If you sell it, the government continues to collect it, the taxes. And if even your children inherit it, the property taxes on that land will continue
plus
to be
the house.
Yes, plus the house. Yes.
And if the land have water, then we do both federal tax and provincial taxes?
No. So for your property, for your landed property, when you are paying to the municipal, okay?
Yeah.
To the city. So when we pay taxes in Pickering, for example, it goes to the Pickering municipal. And you know what? They use those money to do the development. So they do use it to build road, to build school, to build a playground. So a lot of us see, those wonderful, playground. We say, oh my God, this is a lot of beautiful, this is a lot of amenity. I like Canada. It's your money that they are using to build it.
Oh yeah.
See all those hospitals, right? Oh, the health system is very great. We know that, there's a lot of facility. They are building that great mall and all that. Yes, investors are doing it, but when government wants to facilitate those things, they use the money that we have paid in taxes.
So one time for you to know, go on the system to say, well, could you help me? They say, oh, you're not qualified.
Mm.
You qualify everybody else. Well, the thing is you alone, so we cannot help you. So where all the money that I pay into the system so you can feed everybody else and pay everybody else,
Yes.
where the amount that I put in? Okay, if you can help me, just give me that amount that I put in.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll be fine. Oh, they tell me no, I can't get it. I'm like that. Oh,
That
it
is
was easy to take, but that is hard to give back.
yes, that is true. So, Tex, let me tell you one thing. The best way, the most important information for anybody that is living in Canada, and if you are hearing us on this show and you have not done something, I think you are not doing the best, making the best decision for the next generation. If you don't know all these things and if you are not implementing a lot of things, right? And that is why we encourage people to get enough knowledge. There is no any other way than to say Gemfm has said it all, honestly. So, anyways, we are talking about challenging times, right? But of course, we know that whether whether the health falls down, whether there's earthquake, life continues, right? Let's move on. So, what do you want to do that is different from last year, from 2021 and 2022, that can make a difference, in your financial well-being? What is that thing that you want to do? What are those things that we can do? Those are the things we are sharing with you. Okay, we want you to always remember that it is not all about you. I was talking to a lot of people, during the week, a lot of friends, and they were talking about, housing and market. And I said, hey, let me tell you something. You have to now start thinking about your next generation, your kids, where they are going to stay, where they are going to live, right? Because we must always be prepared. We have that responsibility. And before I get started, don't forget just that one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates, said something that we used to say on this show. And what he said is simple. He said, if you are born poor, okay, if you are born the way you are today, it's never your fault. Not at all. And guess what? If there are a lot of people in that shoe, it is not a problem. But if you wake up every day and read this saying that if you die the way you are, but not even only that, if you don't change the destiny of your generation or your children, okay, then it is definitely your fault. It is either two ways. It's either you go that extra mile and do something that will create generational wealth, or equally the same, or make sure that each of those kids are taken care of, right? Make sure that you can provide for them. I've said it on this call. There are a lot of people that send their children, their kids, to medical school in Canada with zero debt. Is that not wonderful? Yeah. Even some of them even send them to the US. Yeah, to go and study. Zero debt. How wonderful is that? Okay. There are a lot of people in Canada today. Their children, they know default, their children has to go and take those up. Well, it is always there, it's always available for funding. if it is needed. But what about if you decide to say that once this child graduates from school, I want this child to start afresh, to start a new life, debt-free. Have any of us thought about it? Let me tell you something, Texmamare. A lot of people don't know something. When your child graduates from the university in Canada, please, if you are listening to me, please listen very, very well. Okay? When your child graduates from Canada and they graduate with loan, okay, that loan goes into their credit score. If that child wants to go and get anything, wants to go and get any loan facility, they will factor in that loan. It is something. Yes. If they studied nursing and they spent 50,000, 60,000, they might not be in a good position to get even any loan they want to use for any other, even car loan or something. Although, yeah, they will always give everybody car loan, but they will be limited, just for you to know. So it's a debt. So I think if you don't hear anything, if you don't take away anything from this call today, find out how you can make your children to finish education debt-free. Okay.
So I have one question.
Okay.
The person asks, if I have two children under 5 years old, and if I have two children under 5 years old and want to sponsor their education, do I pay separate or individual amount? Then what is the amount?
Okay. So if you want to do a plan, if I understand the question correctly, you have two kids. When you are planning for their education, you plan it separately. Okay, that's number one. If you are doing an educational plan, you pay separately. Do you know the reason? Because the government is going to give them the additional bonus separately. So there are two children. Every child is for himself. Every child should have the equal opportunity to get that education. So it's two. It's two children. You're going to do two plans. If you want us to talk more about all the options you have, that is not a problem. Set up and, just let us know what time is good, and we'll be more than happy to jump, okay, on the call. So let's get started today. Before we get started, Textman Warren, maybe I got somebody called us. Maybe you might want to take a note at the at the mobile number that we have on Facebook. I think the last number is still missing a 9. Maybe you should check for us now if we can correct it. The right number is 647-201-7149.
Okay, it's 416-313-2152 and 647-201-7149.
Yes. 7.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much for that. As promised, we will move into the real phase 2 of our building a strong financial foundation. Okay. So we started talking about this great presentation 2 weeks ago. And the reason why we were talking about building a strong financial foundation is that we realized that a lot of time we need to build a strong foundation in order to have a strong, and let me use the word, everlasting product, to have something that will last, right? To have a strong, wealth, to build a strong education, to build anything we want to do, we need a strong foundation. So that is why we have been talking about why it's important to build a strong financial foundation. So let me share my screen quickly. We will run over the phase 2 or part 2 of building a strong financial foundation today. So we will run over quickly. 1 second, let me change my screen to here. So we'll run over quickly, and then we will also follow up if there's any question, if there's any emphasis as we go on in the presentation for the week. Okay, so let's see how far we can go today. So as usual, we always tell our audience that we want you to take this presentation as an education and as a priority of knowledge that you need to know about financial concepts, right? And we want you to know that each time you need any specific information or you want to take any decision, let me use it that way, you should always make sure that it is appropriate for you and we understand the reason why we are taking that decision, and to make sure that we are taking the right decision, right? That fits our needs and your financial goals. So for example, if you come to us, if you tell us, these are my, my situation, this is what I want to do, I want to plan for my kids' education, I want to plan for my retirement, I want to invest and all that, what we will do is that we will do what we call a financial need analysis for you. Okay, as you know, we have repeated it on this call, we are not captive advisors. Okay, so we are not captive advisors means that we work with many financial institutions, including all the banks, Royal Bank, Bank of Montreal, and very, very good and strong financial companies in Canada. Those are the people we work with. We will tell you about their product and what is best for you. One day we will talk more about that. We'll talk about how we manage our relationship and what are the financial institution we have relationship with, and why is it that we broker with them. Okay, if you go to Bank of Montreal now and you say, I am looking for how I can plan for my education, the education for my kids, they are going to give you what they have as a bank, right? They won't tell you you have option A, B, C, D, E, and F, and probably this will be the best for you, right? They will just give you what they have. So that is what we do. So we hope to see you succeeding, in building that strong financial foundation. I will go through briefly the motivation of coming to you about the financial challenges that Canadians face at retirement, right? I know we have heard this all the time, but we do want you to know that most importantly, Canadians have to understand where they need to save their money, and where they need to invest for their future, because a lot of people, are not saving enough. Like 35% of Canadians are not even saving or investing at all, right? And most of the time, those people who are saving and investing, they are investing in the wrong vehicles, or they are not investing in taking advantage of other investment opportunities and vehicles that they should use. So, for example, as an average, Canadians contribute only $55,000 to their registered retirement savings plan. What will $55,000 do for you for your retirement, when the statistic shows that you are most likely going to live? There are 67% chances that you are going to live for up to 90 years, right? Or so 67 of Canadians as well, they are not financially strong enough. They are struggling, right? We don't want you to struggle when it matters most. So let's look at some of the learning outcomes of today, okay? We want to review the wealth formula. We talked about it last week, but as I said, the wealth formula is part of the part 2 of building a strong financial foundation. We want to see, how does life work? I will take you very, very briefly how life works. A lot of people know about how life works. But we want to show you the financial perspective of how life works so that you will be able to prepare for your future. And we want to talk about something interesting. Okay. A lot of us still, today say, I have money, I have some means, and I am doing something financially. I am working towards some financial goals. But the big question is, where do you put your money today? Okay. Where are you keeping your money today? So we will talk about them that very, very as quick as possible, depending on our time. And we will come back and take your question and answer as they come. Okay. The ultimate wealth formula is your money that you have today, whether it's $5 a day, whether it's $2 a day, you are saving from Tim Hortons, plus the amount of time you are willing to wait, even if it is short term, long term, or medium term, depending on how long we are waiting, plus how the money is working for you, the rate of return. Is it 2%? Is it 4%? Is it 10%? Is it 30%? Is it 50%? Anything is possible, right? Minus the rate of inflation, okay, which we will talk more about. I know we've talked about inflation and everybody is aware of what inflation is, and minus your taxes, right, equal to wealth. Okay, so that is the formula of wealth. Any day, anytime. So let's break it down. Again, we said it again and again. Money doesn't grow on trees, unfortunately. We have to work for it, right? We have to understand that there's a formula behind how we can build wealth. Okay, if you want to build wealth today, you have to work. You have to work for money. Okay, but the problem is a lot of people say that, yes, I have money, I work for money today, but I don't know how I will build wealth with this money, or I've been trying and working to build wealth, but it has been difficult. So the question is, where is money, right? The truth is that most people always seems to say the money problem is very common. People have a lot of money, we are short of fun here and there. But what you should do in order for you to start building wealth is, don't save what is left after you have finished spending. Okay? Start to spend what is left after you have saved. Before you buy toys, before you buy all the good things that you think and that child will enjoy doing today, at least save for them. Okay? Then spend the rest. Okay? The other thing you need to do as an adult is pay yourself first. What does that mean? Before you pay your bills, before you pay your telephone bills, before you pay your cable bills, your car insurance, your anything you pay for, make sure that you pay yourself first. Normally, they used to say that between 5 and 15% of your income should be saved, no matter what you do. So that means that if you are supposed to have a cable TV or of $80, then if you have agreed to save 15% of your salary, you know exactly what is left for you to be able to buy the cable. We are not saying you don't buy that cable. We are not saying, of course, you need internet, but buy and get what you need as much as possible. Let me put it down. Okay. We know the situation might sometimes be a little bit difficult, but as much as possible. And that brings us to the last one. Buy only what you need. Spending money is a way of life, for so many people. A lot of people, when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they are thinking about is that, what can I buy today? Shopping has become, a habit for so many people. It's an addiction. I've seen such people.
Yes.
Yes. I've seen a lot of people before, especially in these modern times. That, do you know that just with your phone, within 1 hour, you can spend $1 million easily?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So And I used to tell them, well, there's one thing, you will see them just tapping the phone, and okay, you can $1 million in 1 hour. Okay. So
Thank God I don't have that problem.
so please, let's culture ourselves. Let's not become spending our habits. Some people go to the store. It's very, very common. Let me tell you something. We are, financial educators. We share our own experience. There are a lot of things that are bought because they are on sales, right? But we never open them. I am telling you, right? Uh, one of the way you will know is that a lot of us may quickly experience this. I stay in a very big house, and it's a 4-bedroom house, but let me tell you something, the house is already small. I'm telling you, so this is practical experience. We buy a lot of things that we don't really need. So, but make sure that before you even buy those things, make sure you commit your money to the right vehicles, right? And that is making me to be more disciplined, right? If I am paying X amount of money on the insurance on my cars, then that means that, do you understand now? That means that I must be doing an X amount of money saving for my future. So that is how it works, right? So pay yourself first and take care of your family. The next thing I want to talk about is time is money. Okay. What does this mean? The sooner you start saving, the better. Okay. When is the best time to plant that tree? It is now. Sow a seed of savings from today. That shouldn't be a new sermon to anybody, whether with Greatway Financial or whether with Texman Warren, it doesn't matter. Start saving today. Okay. So procrastination is the enemy of saving. Okay. Some people say that, don't worry, I will start saving next month. Next month, don't worry, I will start saving. You will never start saving unless you start saving from today. For example, Texman Warren gave us a challenge. I don't think I've taken any coffee in the last 2 weeks anyways. For me, I have not bought any coffee. And that is sincerely, I have not even had the opportunity because I've been very busy. And I do have a very good coffee products at home. So you can also do that. I buy coffee products at home, and I buy very good coffee creams, coffee mates at home. Save money, please. Save. There's no any other way to say it. Okay. Let's talk about rate of return very quickly. A lot of people don't know that the rate of return is very, very important. But guess what? You do not only need to understand the rate of return, that is interest. For the people who don't understand the interest you are getting on your money, you need to understand the real interest, the real rate of return. Okay, so it is very important for you to know that there are some rules that are very, very important that you should know. An example is the rule of 72 that we've talked about on our presentation. The rule of 72 says, if you divide the rate of return, just go to the bank, go to anywhere, tell them, I am giving you this money. What is my rate of return? Once they tell you, take 72 and divide by that rate of return. 72 divided by rate of return. Anything you get equal to the number of years it will take that money to double if you leave it at that rate of return. So guess what? There is a big difference in rate of returns. Guess that you will have seen from our presentation that, listen carefully, if you take $10,000 and you invest it somewhere at the rate of return of 4%, $10,000 interest rate 4% for 35 years. Okay, and 10,000 at the rate of 12% for 35 years. So the same year of 35 years, and the difference between, and $10,000 is the amount you're investing, but the difference is 4% to 12%. The difference between the two is 600,000 Canadian dollars. Just imagine. That is the difference between you investing your money in 4% versus 12%. Approximately is around 600K. Okay, so choose the best rate of return that you can get. How do you do that without so much risk? Come and talk to us. We'll tell you, we'll show you exactly that. Inflation is the rise in prices of goods and services over time. You know, we have talked about inflation already. I won't talk so much about it, but this is what I want you to know. If inflation rate is 3.5%, inflation rate as at the end of 2021 in Canada is between 4 and 5%, conservatively, okay? But guess what? If the inflation rate, which was the average inflation rate of Canada for a long time, is 3.5, your $100 today will only worth $96.50 next year. Okay, if you have $100 today, the strength of that money based on the inflationary rate is that money will become $96.50. Okay, so learn to beat inflation. There is no any other way to say it. Learn to beat inflation. If you are investing today and you are not investing in a rate of return that is higher than the rate of inflation, that means that there is a problem. Okay, so if you are investing in 2022, come and talk to us, because if you are not getting anything 8% and above, then you are not above inflation. There's no any other way to say it. Okay, so before I leave that, there is one great man called Benjamin Franklin, and I will talk about him. So, taxes. How much taxes do you want to pay? Okay. Do you want to pay 100% taxes, 50% taxes, or zero taxes? You remember that great question that we asked you. What you want to pay depends on you. But Mr. Benjamin Franklin said that there is nothing that is certain in the world. Time is not certain. The weather is not certain at all. Our job is not certain, right? Our health is not certain. Okay? It's not certain that the government is going to do what they promised that they would do, the government of this world. But there are two things that are certain: debt and taxes. Okay? When you make money, they tax you. When you spend the money, they tax you. Even when you save the money, this one that we are encouraging you, we are motivating ourselves to save. Even when you save the money, they will tax you. Unfortunately, even when we die, okay, they will still tax us. So, what exactly do you want to do to make a difference in your generation? Because whether you like it or not, we will pay taxes everywhere, right? So if you can manage your inflation and you can manage your taxes, okay, everybody will agree with me that those two things will determine how much wealth you are going to transfer at large to your next generation. So, how does life work? Interesting question. Well, let me tell you briefly how life works. And then we try to wrap up our presentation today. I will try to go over it much quicker. So let's say, for example, today you are 30 years old like me. Okay. I wished. Okay. But the truth is that even if you are 30 years old like me, we are not going to be young forever. Or are you going to be young forever if you are listening to me? No. Of recent, as a person, I started worrying with my spouse. I started telling her, oh my God, I'm getting old, you know. And it was kind of funny conversation about, well, when you also bring children, when you bring children up, you see how quick they are growing. You see, yeah, right? So you are saying something, Text, you're on mute.
No, I go like, yeah. And then they grow so fast and they say, okay, so I'm not getting old, so why they getting big?
Well, you are very right. There are so many, things to ponder about, but it's good that the house is understanding that when we are young, we need to get old. But guess what? When eventually we become, I'm not saying older, it's not being old. Some people, they are funny. They said, your age is what is in your mind, and also like that. And that is true. But the truth is that when we get advanced in age, I want to ask people, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Right?
Good thing.
Absolutely. Do you know why? Let me tell you why it's a good thing. It is not a good thing because you are a multimillionaire. No, it is not a good thing because you are getting old today and you don't have everything you need. No, it is good because you didn't die young. God kept you. My parents used to tell me something. My parents used to tell me that from their experience in life, even if you have all the wealth and you die young, right? It is not useful. They just used to put it in their own way. They believe that when you live long, when you live to the age 100, and above, like 120, it's possible, right? Then you get to enjoy life. You get to see good things about life. You get to see your children's children. That is a lot. That is the good thing about, why we need to live long. But guess what? The truth is, when we are young, would most of us agree with me that we are physically strong? Yes, right? We are physically strong, but are we physically strong forever? No. So that is how life works. Look at it. Physically, we decline in strength. Eventually, we become, I won't use the word weak, but we cannot do the same thing that we keep doing, no matter what, how strong that person is. I have a father who is around the age of 77 now, just to let you know, and I am his last child. And some of the things my father did is still, very incredible. It's still very, very surprising, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
They're in a hot climate.
Yes,
So we feel
exactly.
like,
Thank you.
yeah, our body mass get weak because we're in a colder climate.
Correct. Yes. I'm really sharing with you that you will be surprised at some of the things that if I tell you that my father, who is 77 today, might be able to walk the distance. If both of us start walking now, I'm gonna get tired quicker than him.
Yeah.
That is so. Just to let you know, yeah, that is just the way it is, right? So, but I just want you to know that our physical strength, decreases as we advance in age,
Yes.
right? And we get more physically weak. But would you rather agree with me that most young people today live, they are young. When we are young, when we are just graduated from school, we are still trying to build wealth, right? We are still living a way, we are still trying to, get the best job, the best opportunity, increase our opportunities and get more wealth. That is typical of a young person. However, when we get older, we are supposed to be more financially strong. That is what a lot of people don't understand. It is how life works. How many people get to be millionaires at the age of 30? If you look at the statistics, it's very, very minimal. So mostly how life works is that as we grow, we should get more financially strong. As we grow, we should be able to do more for our families and to help the next generation. Okay, so what we want to bring out here is, if we save and invest money properly, someday, no matter what, we will be financially strong. That is how life works. Okay, when we are young, we should work very hard for money. Simple. But as we grow old, we should stop working hard, because we should make our money work hard for us. Okay, so that is how life works. But unfortunately, a lot of people, when we are young and we are financially weak and we work hard, which is normal, we still grow old and we are still financially weak. This is not me saying this or Great Way Financial. This is what the Canadian statistics says. The Canadian statistics says that 67% of Canadians, at least, it's more than that, so at least 67% of Canadians are financially weak at the age of retirement. So, do we want to change this narrative? Yes, absolutely. We want this narrative to change. So, it is important to know, why a lot of people are financially weak at the age of retirement. And the reason is that they didn't save, they didn't invest enough. Okay, do you want to save today? Do you want to start investing enough? Absolutely. Let's start saving, let's start investing enough. Okay, so that we can make a big difference, to our next generation. Okay, so thank you very much. We are going to stay and stop here today. Okay, in case anybody has any question, you can go ahead. We will stop today at how life works and what you should know about what you should do in order to have a stronger financial future. Okay, so if, for example, you become a millionaire at the age of 40 or a millionaire at the age of 50, you can help if you put in the right financial action in place. You can help your generation to do a little bit more better. But what about if I become a millionaire at the age of 70? Then I can help my next generation to do even much better than that. That is how life works. That no matter what, go and look at majority of people who have wealth, especially generational wealth. That is how life works in North America, right? You see a parent, when they die, they pass on wealth to the next generation. And guess what? The community we are in now is not doing enough with that. We all know, right? So that is what it is, right? We need to do enough because we need to understand how life works. And I am going to show you more about where you should be keeping your money on Friday, right? It's a broad education. Don't miss Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. because I'm going to tell you whether you have $1 today, whether you have $50, or whether you have $100. Anyways, I will expose you to where you should be keeping your money or give you an understanding of where you are keeping your money and what that money will do for you, where you are keeping it. Okay, so this is me, truly yours, from Greatway Financial again, with my wonderful host, Texman Warren, and my wonderful Gemfm family, who have given us this opportunity to come and share on how education is the key to liberation.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Texman Warren. It's always a wonderful time um, seeing you. Thanks for being, for hosting us each of these days. I pray that God will bless you and He will expand your coast in Jesus' name.
Amen. And so we come to the end of Great Way Financials. I want us to thank you for being here with us. The Bible talk about knowledge. When you seek knowledge, you will also get understanding. But if you reject it, it's only going to cause your generation to suffer. Let us be wise and let God continue to restore us. Amen.
Amen.
Goodbye. Bye
Yep. Bye.
bye. Timothy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. God bless.
Yeah.